I can't tell if it's there. That.
Can you turn, Dick? Sure. Can you turn the lights down so you get more light on it? Not burning the glove? He needs to zoom in to show exactly what you're scooping up there.
Cell here, and I'm looking down the north wall along the berm, starting adjacent to the smoke detector box, looking west. Okay, this is a picture of the hydroxide that Dick scooped up in front of the scrubber and pushed up into the corner. There's a view on up to the second ladder. I'm going to turn around. This is a view of the thermocouple tree in front of the scrubber. Focus it here. There's a view of the floor area of the inside of the funnel leading to the scrubber, below the backdraft damper. And I'll shoot up. And there's a view of the west side of the backdraft damper, moving across. Looking at the underside of the vanes.
That's a good picture.
There's the back surface. Moving across the thermocouple tree. Okay, we're looking at the top of the smoke detector box. And it's all covered with good slimy stuff. And front's relatively clean. Oh, you're a good guy. Okay, there's a picture of the ladder. And
Is there stuff on the ladder rungs?
yes, debris on the ladder rungs. Okay, we're looking at the south wall at the east end of the berm. Over in the left-hand corner of the picture is the air supply, looking down at the floor. And the small pit. There's the conduits, and there's the junction boxes. All of them are pretty well covered with hydroxide on the top. There's the pit at the east end of the berm. Taking a picture of the crane, a motor directly overhead. There's the gearbox. See a light socket that's all burned out. I'm looking along the surface of the berm from the southeast corner back down towards the northeast. Back towards that corner. Okay, I'm looking over at the southeast corner at the Q-deck support posts. Panning across to the second one. Now looking at the edge of the return duct and down on the walking deck you can see the first of the spray patterns. There's the drain line with the which is covered with nice deposits. Dick's keeping up the, Go ahead, I'm just hydraulic sides here. The oxygen probe that's near the center of the Q-deck, and should be able to see the spray pattern there in the center, and the walking deck which is sagging. It looks like a spray pattern of, what would you say, Dick? There's, how many nozzles there?
I see 4 here.
Four on this side. You see the small indentations. The first one, second one, third one, and the last one. Picture of the drain line as it out of the walking up the 90 degree. Up to the lines with 4 manifolds moving slowly across the center manifold itself to the north end of the room. Dog leg. Okay, that is where the spray line penetrates the building. Takes the first 90-degree turn. Comes over and takes the second 90-degree turn. A lot of flaking, a scorched area up there, it looks like. Moving along down the line, there's the header on the manifold. Moving out towards the east end. There's the easternmost terminal. Back to the center. down towards the south end, or the west end. And starting at the header on the easternmost leg, moving south. There's the first nozzle. Right there's the first nozzle. It's the second nozzle. Third nozzle. And down to the end of the pipe. There's the second header, or the second line. First nozzle. Second nozzle. Third nozzle. Down the end of the pipe. Third leg. First nozzle. Second nozzle. Third nozzle. End of the line. At the last leg, on the west side of the building, first nozzle, second nozzle, third nozzle. In a line. Take a picture of Dick over collecting played out samples. Particular one is on top of one of the Q-deck supports along the south berm near the west wall. He's looking for the next plate out, which is adjacent to the end support column. On the walking deck, which some debris and spots that are burned in appearance. One small, one large. Those are adjacent to the nozzle pattern. This is looking along the deflector plates on the south side of the wall. And on top of the berm, some debris. The concrete wall, along the wall. We're looking to the walking deck. There are several pieces of insulation. Most of them look like they're the insulation that was on the nozzle here. Over there, along the west wall. Some more over here near the shadows in the center west. Some up here close to the south berm. There's the burned appearing area again. From a low angle position underneath the return line is the spray pattern again. Oxygen nozzle. Move up the post. It's the bottom one. There's the second level one. Oh, excuse me, that's thermocouple. Second level oxygen probe. Aerosol collection manifold. Second level aerosol collection manifold. Third oxygen probe. Hydrogen and oxygen probe up at the top. Okay, now I'm at about the center of the south berm, and I'm looking back at the center of the walking deck on the west side at the spray pattern. And that view right there is the extreme northwest corner of the spray pattern. And that moves over behind the return line. Back down towards the south wall. I think you can still see the pattern faintly. Along the south side of the pattern, looking at the one of the walking decks, it seems to be fairly well sagging. Now that's over at the southeast corner of the pattern. Moving up again underneath the return line. This area here that was over in the northwest corner, you can see that there's considerable sagging in that area also. Looks like the center of the two pieces of walking deck there. Sticks out on the walking deck just to the east and south of the return line in the area of one of the two main sags. There's a ruler showing the sag, and I can't make it out, but what is it, Dick, 3 inches?
2 1/4 inches.
2 1/4 inches.
3/4?
And that's the second sag area, which is on the southwest corner. Okay.
1 3/4?
1 3/4 inches. And now this is up at the northwest corner.
3.
That area is sagging 3 inches. And the last area is on the northeast corner, and that was sagging how much, Dick? 1 inch sag. Okay, I am now looking back up at the nozzles from the center of the south berm. That's the southernmost set. Looking across that direction towards the west. Now along the northwest corner, back across the north. That's the northeasternmost nozzle. Down the first leg, second nozzle. Third nozzle. Back to the header. First nozzle. Second nozzle. Third nozzle. Back to the header again. First nozzle. Second nozzle. And third nozzle. Back to the header. First nozzle. Second nozzle. Third nozzle. Okay. We're looking down through the grating at the Q deck, and I don't think we can, there, that's a little better view. There seems to be substantial crud. Would judge that, what is it, about, that's maybe 2/3 full. Okay, that's looking down at the walking deck, Q deck, right along the area where the support post is for the thermocouples at the south side. Okay, this is kind of a view of the walking deck and the Q deck underneath with all the debris on it. And there I think you can see a thermocouple running along the side of the deck. And yeah, I can see it. Okay, we're up right against the drain line now. A lot of debris. Looks like some of the troughs are almost 3/4 full. Some of them are completely full. There's a spot that you can see some thermocouples running along the line. And as you go south on that duct, it's pretty full. There's one that the debris goes right over the top of the hat section. This is coming up on the beam that runs north and south. If I don't keep up exactly with you, we lose everything. Okay, here we are. Looks like a piece of debris down there. I can't tell what that is from here. We're going west. All of the area under the spray nozzles appears to be full of material, giving evidence that it looks like all of the nozzles were flowing. Okay, I'm now over in the southeast corner. We're looking down at the grating. There you can see a downcomer. That's in the last section of Q deck. Move over. There's very light debris along the bottom. This is the flat plate along the wall, kicking stuff down into the area. Right there's a open tube going down into the deck. There's a T-clip. Okay, this is a view of the aerosol collection array, which is just above the berm on the south wall, and the appearance of those looks pretty typical. And there's a view of the deflector sheets. This is a view of the return line duct, looking from the northwest corner back towards it, and you can see where it looks like substantial warpage due to the sodium spray. That's right under the line of the spray there. There's a view of the gas line as it comes in on the line. There's the manifold. Yeah.
Can you zoom in more?
There's the first cross, and I think that's where the transition between the copper line and the stainless line is. I'm not positive on that. And there's the line as it goes down. The second cross. And there's the line as it goes down to the NT. Goes over to one nozzle. Goes back to the center. Goes over to the third nozzle.